Hello, hi, this is Maru-chan. It's October 22nd, 2022. It's about 2:20 right now, 2:20 p.m. Plus 7 GMT time. And welcome to the Maru-chan podcast, the podcast where you can listen to my before and afterthoughts of your favorite games. And today it happens that we're going to be doing the afterthoughts, or my afterthoughts of Bayonetta. Now, it's the first game. We're talking about the first game. And if you haven't watched the before thoughts, make sure to click on the end card here, up here at the top left, whatever, top right. And yeah, we're going to be doing that today. It's such a great game. Should I even start out that way? I'm really excited to talk about this game. In my time, like 2 or 3 weeks have passed since I started the podcast. Well, this one. But for you guys, it'll be like literally like almost like nothing. But yeah. I guess I'll just talk about it starting right now. But before I do, just because I don't want to go into it too fast. There's a lot to talk about. Just kind of want to go over life, what's happened recently. Went on a trip and had fun. Went to a place called Pleiku. It was really, really fun. And got to see a lot of trees and mountains and trees and mountains. And you might think that's quite boring, but it's actually quite nice. There's a lot of good sceneries around there. Had a lot of fun, and so traveling basically, and so we're gonna be doing that a little bit more often, just to kind of because I'm kind of focused on always doing a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think it's a good way to kind of get my head out of the game sometimes. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. Besides that, we got caught up with all of with our other channel, Champion of the Night, COTN, and yeah, so super happy. That's basically it. We've been still streaming, going strong on it. Still trying to have events with people, and I think maybe on the next podcast we might have another guest. We might not. It just kind of depends. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with my life. If you guys would like to tell me about your guys's, please make sure to put in the comments down below so I can know about it. Yeah, I'd like to know. So back to Bayonetta. First of all, I just gotta say that this game is a timeless classic. It's such a great game. Like, I played it before, went through about half of it, don't remember a single thing, and now that I come back to it and I just played throughout the whole thing, it is such a great game. Like, there's a lot of aspects about this game that I like. There were very few things that I disliked. I think this is one of the games I can say I probably had the least dislikes out of like most of the games on here. On the podcast. Yeah, there was a lot of super cool, interesting things happening. Now, I don't know how Bayonetta 2 or Bayonetta 3 are, because Bayonetta 3 is about to come out, and then also some scandals have happened recently, actually, like in maybe a week or so, and I'll talk about that a little bit about it. I don't want to bring too much attention to it, but yeah, so let me talk about it. So Bayonetta is this third-person fighting, combo-oriented game, kind of like Devil May Cry. That's like one of the best ways I can kind of compare it to something, but that's what it is. And it's super combo-oriented, like super. You want to make sure you know your stuff. And, in God of War, you do want to know something. You do want to know your combos. A decent amount. It's not that much, but I'm gonna guess in Spartan mode or higher difficulties you might need to know them better. But knowing how those games work, just one combo can do you the favor. But as far as Bayonetta goes, you need to remember those combos. You need to, because there are so many situations with so many different enemies where different things work better. I think it's best to start off the podcast this way, like talking about that, because that's what the game is mostly about, combos. It has a great story. Not that like the story was super in depth. It wasn't really, but it was still a spectacular game to just beat monsters up. Now they're angel monsters, but they're still monsters. You know, they're all the same at the end of the day. And oh my god, it's a blast to kill them, because you have your normal attacks, then you have like your strong attacks, you have your little guns. If you hold the square or the Y button, is that the X button on the Xbox, or the square button on the PlayStation, and you go, or if you hold the Y button on the Xbox or the triangle button on the PlayStation controller, it'll shoot another thing. And that's not even like, I still need to go in depth with like secondary weapons and other sort of things. Man, what do I even talk about first? There's collectibles, there's the story, there's the gameplay, power-ups. Should I even talk about power-ups? I guess are a thing that's gonna happen when I talk about the story, because they're kind of related. So one thing that I kind of figured with this game is that when you start playing this game, there's a lot of combos. There's a lot. I mean, I know I mentioned that, but there's a crap ton, and you can unlock more by like purchasing it through the hell place where you meet the blade guy. And it's really cool. It's honestly really, really cool, the amount of stuff that you can work with. Therefore, it has a lot of replayability. And I'll tell you guys why it has replayability. If you play in one of your save files, right? You have the chance to go back and redo those, kind of like in Sonic, where you get an S rank or A rank, B rank, whatever. You can come back and do all of those. It has a lot of replayability, and once you beat the game, there are harder modes that you can get and unlock, and you can unlock other characters and character and costumes and so many other things. There's a lot of achievements in this game. So if you want to play a game that has replayability, this game is the one for you. It has a ton, and not only that, but in terms of like the way these levels are oriented, it's you have like a stage, right? And or a chapter, you could say a chapter. I think that's what they call it. And inside a chapter, there are so many verses. Maybe there's 5 verses in one. Maybe there's 10 or 8 verses. So a verse is like let's just say like the part where you get a checkpoint in each one. Maybe you fight a few monsters in this part, and then you get a little bit of story here in between this part and this part. They usually have quite a few verses. Like I've seen some that had like 8 or 10 verses per stage, per chapter. So they had quite a lot of pieces to these chapters. And there were around like 18, 19 chapters in total. How many chapters were there? There were a lot. Technically 17, if you count the epilogue and the prologue. So yeah, it's just so much content put into a game. And considering this was when the PS3 came out, like, well, it was 2 years after the PS3 came out, but still, during that time, games like Devil May Cry, games like Bayonetta are very good examples of games that are extremely good in the modern day. I call it modern day. I don't know. I call the 64. It's not modern. No, it's obviously it's retro, but I still call the GameCube modern, PS2 modern. I know. We're in a different time now, but a few years down the line. But yeah. I mean, the game came out like a few years ago, 12, 13 years ago. It's not that far. It's not too long of a time, so it's not that bad. There's oh my gosh, there's just a lot of things I want to say about this, but I guess we can go ahead and talk about A few of the things here, for example, the collectibles. Just get those out of the way. You can collect like this money stuff. To me, they just look like little white things, but it's you kill angels or you collect them from chests and stuff. You can open chests. You like hit them a few times, and you open it. You get money. Sometimes you get something called a witch heart. Broken witch heart. If you get 5 of those, then you'll get your max health will increase, and I think there are other kinds of hearts as well. One for your stamina. No, magic. Yeah. You got like mana points. MP is the little blue one, and you could use like. There are some combos that you can unlock that will use up that mana thing, or some particular powers that will use it. God, yeah, collectibles. Anything else that you can collect? Oh yeah, you can collect these little bullets for this game. After it's a bonus game after each level, after each chapter. It's called Angel Attack, and like you have to shoot these angels, and if you shoot them, you have a limited amount of bullets, just to like remind you, and you get to shoot stuff, and if you hit stuff like in the head or things that are super far, you'll get even more points, and you can use that to like buy stuff. So it's like an extra little way to have money so you can buy things. So after you buy that, like the things you need to buy from Angel Attack. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, you can also get like you can craft your own potions and boost and MP potions. Basically what you do is like you hit things, you break things, and these little green or blue things fall out of the sky or whatever, and you can pick those up. And when you pick those up, if you press start, you can actually like craft them. If you have 5 of them, you can create a normal potion. If you have 10, you can create a better potion, and the 15 is like the max potion, right? So you got stuff like that. Oh, there were also books. You can unlock books. I didn't really read them. Some of the books give you like tell you about the game. Sometimes they tell you about like some of the characters or the enemies. It didn't really matter to me. I just collect them, never check them out. I opened it like once or twice. That's how I know about it. But besides that, it was nothing like crazy. And the only other collectible that I saw were like these keys that you can find in chests sometimes, but those are very situational. And yeah, they didn't really have anything like crazy. So yeah, those are collectibles. Get that out of the way. Music. Whew. Well, most of the music was good in this game, but you're gonna be hearing the fighting music a lot, which is this rendition of "Fly Me to the Moon" by it's actually made by Frank Sinatra. Like, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. I was listening to the song, or I was in a fight in one of the chapters, and I'm like, it was like "Fly Me to the Moon," and I was like, oh, okay, this is a good song. And apparently it's like, it sounded very familiar to me because I felt like I've heard the song. So I went to YouTube or Shazam, and I kind of put it on. I was like, okay, recorded the song with my phone, and then it said the climax version, Bayonetta, Fly Me to the Moon. And so I checked it out. I went to YouTube. I tried to find it, and then I saw Evangelion, and then they also had the song, and then it also showed like. Squid Games had the song too, and I was like, what, does everyone have the song in like their fucking show? And then like I go and keep going down, and it's Frank Sinatra. He made this song. I didn't know that. It's a really old song. It's like 1967, probably older. And man, was I addicted. I liked all of them. But I just like the Bayonetta version more. I don't know if it's because I heard it like a crap ton by that time, but I liked it more. It's so good. It's such a good rendition, and you hear the credits version, which is just kind of her singing it without like all the crazy fighting. And they make a lot of references to that, like that song, a lot. So I guess the song was like a big part of the game. Just that's what it is. Amazing song. I'm still hearing it right now, and it's always in my head. Like, I don't know, it's just, it has a good tune, it has a good rhythm. I like it a lot. So yeah, that's music, super good. At least most of the music that was in the game, pretty exciting. It's always very hype, very exciting. I liked it a lot, man. Yeah. Should I talk about enemies? I guess enemies kind of what can I talk about the enemies? As for enemies, I guess this is kind of important because in this game they make it a big deal. But whenever a new enemy comes out, it could be like a normal enemy or it could be like a boss enemy. They're always going to introduce it. So for example, let's just say a guy comes out. His name is Chris Angel. Let's just say that's, or his Retribution or Heavenly Light. I don't know, whatever you want it to be. So Chris Angel will come out, right? He'll have an introduction where it's like and he'll come out with like a sword and be like or make something disappear, and then you'll like fight it, right? Kind of like if it was a mini boss, and then after you fight it, that enemy starts to become more normal. Even like the bosses become so normal. I remember one of the bosses, these really big enemies, he came out as a boss, and he started attacking me, and then like out of nowhere I just like pulled out I beat his butt, and later on in the story he comes back as like a little baddie. Like 5 of them come out and I have to kill all of them, but now he's not a boss. He's like one of the weak guys. It's crazy because all of the enemies in this game end up becoming just a little lackey. They all end up being little minions, okay? All of them. So if you think there was a big ass dragon with 100 heads, that guy's gonna be a fucking lackey in a chapter from now. That guy's gonna be serving the main guy his Tootsie Rolls. I don't know why I said Tootsie Rolls, but he's gonna be serving them, okay? And yeah, I like that because it makes you feel like, oh, what? That guy was difficult, but now he's easy beast. Now I know his method of fighting. I know when to block. I know when to dodge. I know when to this, and that. Yeah. Man, I haven't even got to talk about the gameplay or Bayo herself or anything. Man, there's just so much in this game. There's a lot of content condensed into Bayonetta. A lot of good stuff. I think most of them are quite good. So gameplay. I guess gameplay is different than story. So. Okay, so other things that I guess I should talk about, kind of get out of the way. There's a place called Gates of Hell. You'll find these places. This is basically your store, and you'll find them every once in a while. Basically, this will be like the place where you buy weapons, you buy potions and stuff. You'll always want to buy potions, trust me. Like, always. This game really makes you want to buy potions. Like, you need them. You most likely need them. The game is hard, and you don't want to die because you just don't want to die. Your score will go down if you care about that. And if you use the potions or all these other items, your score will go down. So yeah, that's kind of a thing. And there you can also buy combos, literally combos. I bought all of the jumps and like turn into this, turn into that, this combo, that combo, a little combo where I can shoot things like all around me, kind of like a 360. No, that you have that combo ready, but there's one with like you do it with your legs. She just goes like spinning, like just breakdancing. You can buy weapons. There you can buy some weapons. You can buy artifacts, which are like these permanent things that you can have, like one that makes your witch time easier. I'll talk about Witch Time in a little bit. There's a lot of things to talk about. Come on, there's a lot to talk about. I don't know. I always never know when to start when it's like really big games like this, where it's kind of like it's not open-ended. It really is. It's not like I'm talking about Minecraft or whatever, right? But there's just a lot of content here, man. There's a lot of content. Okay, I guess I'll just talk about the gameplay. Like I mentioned, it's very combo oriented, and when it comes to this game, every single enemy has its own like little way to kill them, and even when you think you know how to kill them, they always find a way to like dodge differently. Like for example, the big guys that I was talking about, that was a boss before, they have a weak spot in their back, and at first, when you go behind them and hit them in the back, they don't do anything. Like they just take it and they're like, like they're getting hit. But if you wait till like later on in the game, they actually start like hitting you with their fist. Like, ooh, they turn around and hit you with their fist. And later on you actually start kind of like reading that sort of thing. So you start dodging it or like getting away from it and then coming back when they already did the hit. Then afterwards they like start doing things where like they reach back and grab you and then like start beating the crap out of you and then like throw you. It's like there are different methods of fighting that they use or ways to defend themselves, counter, which I was really happy about. And a lot of enemies have this, so it's kind of cool. And every enemy that you find, new or whatever, they have different ways you can kill them with different weapons. And they drop weapons many times, so you can use their weapons. Like there was a trumpet one where you blast them with like these balls. Really cool. There's like this spear that you can spin around with. There's like this really big heavy sword. I don't know. There's like a lot of things. There's so many things, and I don't know. I enjoyed that part because it can actually help you get out of so many like critical and hard situations where you just like need to destroy a large number of enemies, or maybe a particular enemy that's really hard to hit because he has super armor. And you just like, even if you hit him, it doesn't actually work. So you kind of like, yeah. Dodging is a big thing. When you dodge, you get this thing called Witch Time, and it basically slows down the game, and you can just combo the crap out of them. And yeah, you can actually take advantage of this so much if you time things very correctly. For example, I would wait until the enemies attacked in order. And I would just like Witch Time one of them, beat the crap out of the other enemy, move toward the other attack or the ball that was about to hit me, the second one, and then dodge it. And then I would get another Witch Time on top of the old Witch Time. And then I would go beat up another enemy and then run back to the other ball that was about to hit me and dodge that one. But I tripled my Witch Time. So combos can go on forever here if you really want them to. Obviously, if the enemy doesn't have that much health, it will only go as far as their health. But for the most part, combos can just keep going on and on and on. And a lot of these enemies keep having more and more and more and more health. So if you really wanted to keep a combo going, you could. I didn't go extremely crazy because I didn't buy a lot of the combos that were in the store. Nor did I use a lot of the combos so much as I really wanted to. But I guess that's kind of what going back into the game after you beat it is, and you test things out, you try things out. Replayability is high, so I wouldn't mind trying that. Whew, gameplay, man. Also, there are these portals called Alfheim, or Alfheim. What are they called? Alfheim something. You basically go into these portals, and it's a challenge. A challenge, and you basically go in here and you have to do something specific, and it does help you improve in the game. Like, for example, there's one where it tells you have a set amount of hits that you can do, but you have to kill like 100 enemies. So you have to time it well enough where your big attacks hit everyone. So you have to space really well. You have to know when what attacks you're doing, what combo, when. There's some where it tells you have to stay up in the air, so you use like a combo where you like it kind of like a homing attack with like Sonic. It like tracks them and then you hit them, but make sure to not use a combo that makes you go down, like a combo that keeps you up in the air and then you like home to another one, and that's how you can stay up in the air. That's how you do that one. Or there's a one where you have to not get hit 3 times, and you have to kill them all, and they're like super strong. There's a lot of stuff. Or one where you cannot pick up their weapons. There's a lot of kinds of these quests or challenges, you could say. And there's some of them were really hard. I remember the first time when I played Bayonetta on stream, I just had to defeat them under like 40 seconds. It was like a ton of enemies, like 4 wave of enemies. And at that point, I stood there playing that challenge like 40 minutes to an hour, a while. So I kind of decided I won't do these, but I mean, you do get hearts, like those witch hearts, or the other ones that I told you can make your mana go up, which is good. I mean, you want them, right? And you can find them like hidden in different places. I found many of them, but I didn't really care to do them. Sometimes I would just like try it, like, oh, what is this challenge about? But I wouldn't actually do it because I know it would take a lot more time. So if you're playing this game and you don't actually do those, your life is going to be a lot easier and a little bit harder, since you want more health throughout the game. Like, you probably want that. You can also buy witch hearts, but they cost a crap ton, so you probably have to replay the levels. If you can grind in this game and get basically money and buy witch hearts if you want to make your health higher, but that would take forever. I would just rather, maybe there's a way to grind. Maybe there's, if you go to Google or like YouTube or something, you can find a way to grind money in this game, and yeah. But I don't know, I wouldn't do that. I like to just play the game, get good at combos, make my money the honest way. It pays off. Trust me, it's rewarding. But yeah, that's gameplay. Okay, I guess we've spent 20 minutes, almost 30 minutes talking about the game, but yet we haven't talked about the main woman, Bayonetta. And yeah, this game is very sexualized, and I wouldn't say not in a bad way. It's just sexualized. I mean, take that as you will. I mean, I don't know if you're a feminist or a sexist or this or that or whoever you are, but it's cool. It's a cool game. The game doesn't take itself seriously. It doesn't. It's supposed to be sexy and cool, and Bayonetta knows that, and the developers know that, and everyone knows that. So it's supposed to be this way, and it's very, very interesting. It's over sexualized and it's hilarious. They make a lot of jokes. They make a lot of naughty jokes, but they make them, and it's funny to see the way they kind of break the fourth wall in a way, because they know it's like, they know it's outlandish, but it's cool. I think it fits the game super well. Like, it's a perfect mix of not like, it's not cringe. Let's just say that it's not a cringe game for the way they do it. It fits perfectly, yeah, in the plot. Yeah. So Bayonetta is basically this witch, and she has powers. She's really powerful. She has a jewel on her chest that's very important to the story. And yeah, she's sassy. She's just crazy when fighting. Actually, when she fights, it's, like I said, really over sexualized. Literally, like you're fighting this guy or these enemies, right? And she like bends over, like oops, I dropped something position, and lets the enemy get so close to her ass, and then she just like does like this ultra flip and kicks them and like decapitates their head. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like the way that it's done, it's so cool in a funny way, you know. Man, I don't know. I think I really like the humor in this game, the way it was done. Once again, it doesn't take itself seriously. Like, oh, we're edgy. It's edgy, very edgy, but edgy in a funny way. If you compare, let's just get Shadow the Hedgehog, right? The game came out on the GameCube or the PS2 or whatever. This game is trying to be edgy for a reason. Like, oh, you know, these teenager kids, you know, that are gonna like black hedgehog with a gun. Guns, yeah, woo. But this game is like, yeah, we have guns and it's a sexy lady, but whatever, you know, like, do what you will with that. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's very aware that it knows it's this kind of game. It's perfect. I don't know. I think the way they did it, I don't know. It was a perfect mix of edginess and sexiness and all of these things combined. Yeah. So yeah, that is Bayonetta. She's a witch and she has guns. Sometimes she has swords. Sometimes she has shotguns on her legs. Sometimes in her hands. Sometimes, which you can equip different weapons, right? Like I mentioned, whips. It's like a lot of things that you can equip as you go on. You kill certain enemies, then you get those enemies become your weapons. You could say, kind of like Mega Man. You know, you kill a certain enemy and that enemy becomes a thing. I think this game was made by Capcom too. I know it's technically Platinum Games, but it's like a Capcom character. Is it? I don't know. I really don't know. But it's a cool character. It's a really, really cool character. Man, okay. Well, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you guys. No. I'm joking. There's still the story. Now, I was really thinking about how do I talk about the story here, because it's extremely complicated. It's not complicated. I'm sorry. Okay, I was lying. It's not complicated at all. It's just long because there's a lot of cutscenes in this game. Maybe what I'll do is like I'll go over like some of the places that and I'll just talk about some of the things I remember. I know I played it like a week or two ago, so some things I might forget about, some verses. I might forget about some of the areas, okay, but for the most part I kind of do remember most of it, so I think that's the best way to go about it. I gotta talk about one thing I didn't like as well, which you guys will know very soon. Basically, the game starts out in a really weird way. Let's just say that it starts out in a cemetery. No. No, it doesn't. It starts out like you're in this like really weird area where there's like a ton of angels and they start fighting you and you come out and you're fighting them. It's more like a tutorial area, and there's like, if you know anything about like Smash, I guess this would be it. That's how you kind of start out. I forget what it's called. It's like a clock tower. You're standing on a clock tower and it's like broken. It's called Vestibule, right? Yeah, Vestibule. That area is called Vestibule. And basically you end up like fighting enemies. You see this other woman that is just as sassy as Bayonetta, but she's wearing white instead of like black like her. There's some really badass stuff that happens. Like this whole game, there's a ton of badass scenes. The way you kill enemies, she always has a different way to kill every enemy. Like kind of like God of War, where each enemy, like maybe for like a bat, it'll rip off its wings and then like stick it in its mouth, and then it'll like throw it and like put it in the washing machine. It'll turn it on. It'll put it in 180 degrees, and it'll just go nuts. But it basically has like a different way of killing every enemy, and it's really, really cool. I like it. So it's pretty awesome. You also have like these special ways to kill enemies. You have combo ways, whatever. So after you do some of this like tutorial part, you end up like in a graveyard, and there's like a maiden, a nun. She's praying for something. I don't even know what, but she's praying, and she's just doing her thing, praying in a graveyard alone, and so this guy, like the silly guy, is kind of like talking to her, and these monsters start coming out, and then Bayo, it turns out she's the nun, and she just like goes out and starts going crazy on them, hitting them, taking out guns and shooting them. It's pretty interesting. I think like her clothes rip, I think at that time, because like the enemies cut her, and you can almost see her whole physique. You can see her whole physique and more, but like you can see like almost everything, and it's like, oh well, she starts to use her hair power to get her clothes on, because her hair is like her demon powers and also her clothes. So the more she uses them, the more naked she gets. She's naked most of the time in this game. That's just what it is. So she ends up like, oh yeah, she this one guy throws a weapon at her, and she like gets in, starts shooting people. The guy that I think looks like Blade. I think I talked about him before. You end up fighting some enemies in this prologue or whatever, and you start driving away with this like crazy. He's not a crazy dude, but it's like this one guy that's like annoying, and he's always trying to do bets and stuff. I don't know. He's kind of like a Brooklyn kind of guy. Not like that. Brooklyn people are like that. I'm just saying he has like a Brooklyn accent. That's all I'm saying. Then there's like a driving scene, and the car explodes, and then you do like this slow motion part where you fight that one woman that I talked about again, the one that was in white. Her name is Jean, and you don't know who she is, but you start fighting her, and it's all in slow motion. It's really cool. You have to defeat enemies while fighting her. It's chaotic. This game is all chaotic. Everything that I'm saying right now, it's like 1% hype of what it actually is. Like if you actually play the game, it is just bonkers. Like it's bonkers, absolute bonkers. It's super cool. Anyways, then we have Angel Metropolis, which is like the first stage. You get off this like this train. You start hearing voices. Now you want to keep that in mind until the very end of the game, but you're hearing voices throughout the whole entire game. We don't know what the fuck this is, but it's something. It's the voice talking to you. It's not like Kurama from like Naruto, where he's like, hey, I'm gonna take over your body, hey, or like Venom with the guy where he's like, oh, you better watch out, man, you better watch out, I'll take over. No, it's kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm walking here, that sort of thing. So yeah, you start off there. There's a lot. By the way, this game has a lot of puzzles. I don't know if I mentioned that. I should have mentioned that when I talked about gameplay. There's a lot of puzzles. Just a crap ton. Most of them are pretty obvious. There are some here or there that are just like, what do I do? YouTube, thanks. But I think most of them are fine. Like you should be able to figure it out. Common puzzles. There are these one puzzles that you have to make it slow motion, and the way you do it is like there are two statues, and like you press a button on one of them, and they like will go up in the air, and if you press it again, this thunder will come out and just try to zap you, and you have to witch time it. Basically, you have to dodge it which time it, and then you'll go super fast, so you can run through water, or you can run through the place you need to get to before the gate closes, that sort of thing. That's what this is for. Puzzles like that. And you're basically in a city-like place, and I guess you do 2 fights there, 2 boss. Oh, the dragon head one. You see him in the first cutscene of the game. This like enemy. So you kind of have this like boss that you end up having to fight with. Like he looks like a dragon. He has 3 heads. It's a dragon with 3 heads. But he also has a baby face, and he looks like a Koopa car, a flying Koopa car. You know, the one like Bowser Jr. or Bowser drives, the clown car or whatever. Kind of looks like that, but just it's flying and it's massive. Basically from there you have to like fight that, and you fight like this really big dude as well. He's like one of the first bosses, but he's not really a boss. It's kind of like what I said, where the enemies, even if they're like mini bosses, they turn into just normal enemies eventually. This is one of those. You use Rathalos or whatever his name is. I always named it wrong. I just keep calling him Rathalos, but probably his name is different. Every enemy has a different way you can kill them, and like the bosses or certain enemies have different kinds. When you kill the enemy, when it's like no, even when they become minions, you can still use like special monsters. When you're killing special or certain monsters, you can like pull out Rathalos, like that dragon hair monster, and it like eats them, or different ones like this massive bird, or a centipede, or a spider, or like different things. It's really cool actually. So you like bite them, and then you get to the next part, which is Vigrid, City of Deja Vu. That's chapter 2. So basically, it's that same lady, the one with white. She just appears on a fucking motorcycle and just starts like doing tricks, and has a ton of enemies, and just like leaves them onto you. You basically beat them up a little, and then she's like, "Hey, what up? Give me your stone." And you're like, "What stone? This is mine." Because remember I said she has a stone, and I'm kind of like connecting things, connecting things. So basically, you get like you're like doing this like fucking 4D fight, 5D. You're like fighting on the wall, and you're like, and then it's cool. It's cool. It's really cool. And she has like the same powers you do. She has like the whole big punches and the heel punches, the kicks. It's really awesome. Like, it's a cool fight. Like, she actually takes health off you if you don't, watch yourself. And after you fight her, it's just, kind of ends. Then you start. This is where you get the cutscene with this one guy. I don't remember his name. I'll probably remember like later on, but it's basically a guy that you're gonna see a lot in the story, and he's running away. He's like running away from some dudes. Maybe he like did something bad. He kind of reminds me from the guy from Tangled. Do you guys know the movie Tangled? Yeah, that guy, the one that's always with the princess or whatever, and it kind of looks like him too. Anyways, he's he likes to talk with ladies. The ladies really like him, and he's always flirting with random girls that he comes across. So after you see him a little, Bayo meets him, teases him a little, and she looks interested. She looks interested. You basically fight a ton more enemies. I even wrote down here that I found a secret portal. Those are the Alfheim ones, the ones that have the challenges. That's when I didn't know about this sort of stuff. Okay, and then from there you reach a church. Okay, this is where it got like, this is where it got like a little bit annoying, and I'll tell you guys why. So you fight your way to this church, right? And when you get there, you find a little girl, and she looks exactly like Bayo. Like, she looks exactly like Bayo. But instead her hair is kind of like this, which now I understand why in Bayonetta 3, her hair is like this. It's kind of like two, she's got braids, I guess, two long braids. And I guess that's the design of when she was a little girl. So if you play Bayonetta 3 and you don't know that, you go back to Bayonetta 1. Trust me, you want to do it. Trust me. Such a good game. But okay. Let me not get sidetracked. So you find this little girl, and she's just like mommy, daddy. She's like, or she doesn't know what the fuck is going on. So she's just walking there in the church, lost, and you walk up to her, and out of nowhere, that fucking three-headed dragon baby face monster comes out, and sticks his fucking face in there with his dragon face and starts trying to hit you. You have to like fight it. It honestly killed me like 2 or 3 times, a few times. But oh my god. Okay, I gotta talk about one thing that really fucking annoyed me, and I guess I can talk about it because it's not part of like the actual game itself. I mean, it is, but it's a different element of the game. So I never had a health bar, and it did show sometimes like the combos, like 10, 15. I think it did show those, but it didn't show everything. Anyway, so up until this point, I was just playing the game. I'm like, okay, this is the kind of game where if you get hit, you know that you're about to die because of the screen becomes red, kind of like Call of Duty or something, you know. And I do this fight with that dragon thing, and like there's a cool cutscene where like he hits me, and then he throws a fucking thing at me, and it just kills me. And I'm like, what? This happened on stream. It's literally on stream. It happened on stream. It was hilarious. And I'm like, what is going on? And I was frustrated for like a good 20 minutes, I think. Anyway, like it just kept happening over. No chances, no button prompts, nothing. And even when there was a button prompt, which there wasn't, I had to like redo the whole fight again, right? I had to fight the dude again, then the button prompt. But when I died, I had to fight again, do the button prompt again. But there was no button prompt. So I looked to see if it was something wrong, and I checked it, and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, there's a bug. But so I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe I had a bug in mine, in my game. I looked at a video, like a walkthrough, and I looked at the command that they did. You basically had to spin the analog stick around at that like in that point of the game. So I started spinning it around there, and it worked. You end up throwing the fucking building at them, and that's when the chapter ends. Like you go flying off and into the sky, and yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, it really annoyed me. It really annoyed me. I spent so much time there, and I played at least half the game like this. Is it like half the game? Very frustrating. Yeah, it was really frustrating because at the end of the day, like, you're trying to have fun doing a cool cutscene, and you can't see the button prompts. If you can't see a button prompt, you're gonna die. Just like in God of War, you know, you need the button prompts. It's not like it's a rhythm game or Osu or some shit like that. You need the button prompts. So around the middle, or like maybe the third quarter of the game. No, it's got to be like the 50% mark or something. Maybe. Not sure. But I looked at that issue because I was having it again later on. And I looked at you could actually set it back on if you press like F11 or something, F9, F1. So I just pressed the button and I could see my health bar. I could see the combo thing, the HUD. I can see the button prompts now. Man, the game feels a lot better when you know how much health you have. When this game, it's like all about keeping your health and not getting hit and being perfect on everything. Yeah, the game became a million times better. So I already played the game and I liked it and everything. It was really hard without the prompts and all this other shit. But when I had it, man, I was happy. I know I haven't talked about like to the middle part of the game, but you know, that's basically what it comes to. So the next part, you're in I guess you meet the dragon thing again, and he ends up disappearing. So now we're in chapter 3, by the way. It's called The Burning Ground, and like the city's all on fire at this point. So yeah, you fight a mini boss called Fairness. I don't even remember what that one is, to be honest, but it's probably like just a normal enemy that it seems like a boss in a way, but it becomes a normal enemy later on. Even no matter how big they are, even big bosses, right? We're talking about real bosses, like the actual bosses. They become kind of normal enemies. So yeah, I'll go through that part later. You do a part where you run through fire. The QuickTime events. Okay, QTE. I remember that is QuickTime events. So there's a lot of QuickTime events here that are super cool. And you kind of reach Vigrid again, I think, but it looks kind of like hell. Oh yeah. So here, there's this like area where it looks like hell, right? And then there's like this portal thing. But before you get into that portal, you like go to a bridge, and that bridge like breaks. So you know you can't do anything about it. It's broken. So basically you have to go back in the portal, and you're like in heaven. It's called Paradiso, paradise in Spanish. And you like hit this thing, and it's like you like this lever, and it turns it into like it's basically you can control time, and it'll do this like cool, funny, awesome animation. So you have like an hourglass, and you have a certain amount of time to like it'll change it back to what it was in the past, and then like for puzzles like this, it'll change things to what they were before, and then you can get across, and then it'll change back eventually. So yeah, basically that's what I did with the bridge, and man, I'm dying. There was afterwards there's like this quick time event that you need to do. I died a few times. You just need to run across the bridge though, and then from there you just keep going, and then you end up finding the Colosseum. Yeah, that's kind of chapter 3. Now I know I'm not talking about like in between all these little parts. There's a lot of fights, there's a lot of verses, there's a lot of things that kind of happen, but they're not really like crazy important. That's kind of why I'm just going over like the main parts of the story, kind of what you do, kind of the parts I liked, the ones that I saw and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then that's when you finally see that like angel dragon thing, the monster. You see it, and that's like the time where you actually like fight it and kill it. So it's actually really cool because like at first you have like these pillars that you can stand on and fight it, but it'll always break it, right? And then like you're in like the bottom part of the Colosseum, and you just have to fight it, knock it out. There are the hourglasses will also be there, so you can rebuild the stadium or the Colosseum. Sorry. You can rebuild them, but there's no point of it. I actually learned that the only reason you need to like rebuild them is or make the time go back is when he makes lava go everywhere, and you wanna make sure that you clean that out so you can knock his head around. So after you take enough damage, you'll do like a scene where you like grab him and like throw him down on the ground, then you just beat on him again until his health is at 0. Really, really cool boss. I actually enjoyed that one a lot. It was a really awesome one. As time goes on in that fight, you like start ripping off the heads, which is really cool. I like that. And I think there's one more sequence where like flying phase. Oh no, it was nothing. Okay, so he tells you, oh, the creator's gonna kill you. So you have to end up fighting the creator at some point, whoever that is. And then you reach chapter 5, which is the Lost Holy Grounds. Ooh. Once you finish that fight, you'll land at a new place. You fight a new enemies. Ones with claws. Now, I just want to mention that there's 2 versions of these, and then there's another version of these 2 enemies. So one is like fire and one is like ice or thunder. No, ice. One is kind of like fire attacks, and the other one's like ice and thunder attacks. These enemies are kind of annoying to deal with. I mean, if you block them and witch time them, they're not that bad. But a lot of times when you block them, like they can still their attacks have a big enough hitbox where it can still hit you even in witch time, which will stop your witch time. So I think these were maybe the most problematic enemies in the game, like in general. And then there's another version of them where even like if you can't use witch time on them, or if you hit them, it's like they have super armor, so all of your attacks are just worthless, even if you do like the big attacks. Basically that enemy appears, you end up getting a weapon based on their weapons, which is really cool. They're like big claws, like you're basically like Sandshrew or like his bigger evolution. So here, let's see. So apparently some guy appeared and spoke a lot of shit. Oh, the one that flirts with a ton of girls, and he's like, hey, you killed my father, blah blah blah. And then he's almost hit by an angel. Now he can't see you most of the time unless you wanna make him see you. I'm talking about Bayo. Like Bayo can choose whether he can see her or not. So she's like it's like a different dimension, I guess. It's like he saw there was a cutscene, I believe, where it showed Bayo there, and the dad was caught and he was getting hurt. So he's like, oh well, it was Bayo. Like, oh, it was Bayo, obviously. Like she was there. There was no one else hurting them but her. Like there were only 2 people. So you basically fight some monsters. There's a lever. You go into like this portal thing, and it turns into nighttime, and actually sends you flying. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like the horse fight, the flying Pegasus fight in God of War 2, where like you're flying through the sky. It was really awesome. Yeah, it was a cool place. But instead of like you're flying with a Pegasus, you're like falling, or not falling. You're just like going really fast and hitting things and dodging things. Is cool. I found a tower called Jorgamen's Staff, and it's tall. Climb to the top. Oh yeah. You basically tree trunk in the higher parts of the tower. Now I see it dry. Oh, okay. So it's like this really long tower. You go up it, and like you can even like run up it at some point. Because you're like climbing, you're like walking up it, and then eventually you just have to literally walk on the walls to get to the top. When you get to the very top, then like you see it's like an actual tree, like on top of the tower, and then that tree goes up even higher, like much higher. So you start to climb up it, you fight enemies or whatever, and when you're just climbing up, out of the nowhere, this fucking dragon comes out this random ass dragon. And actually, this dragon is one of those dragons that you see in the cutscenes, in like the background, in like that clock tower place, vestibule. Like that's where you see it. So I'm like, oh shit, that's the dragon. I think I'm gonna fight the boss here. So you have to like, you have to dodge it. You have to keep going up, and you have to keep dodging it because it keeps trying to hit you while you're climbing. So you get to the top, and then you have a boss fight with this dude. So that's kind of where I was like, oh well. I fought the bosses like minions in a way. So once I kill this guy, I don't have to see him again, right? No. You have to fight this dude like a minion so many times later on in the game. So it's a cool fight. He'll fly around. You can shoot him while he's like going, and then he'll come down. He'll look like a centipede, and then try to like bite you or shoot balls of energy. I don't know, like Dragon Ball or some shit. And so the fight's cool. It's not a bad fight. It's you have to witch time a lot if you want to do anything. That's kind of how it is for most of these. Witch time is your best friend. Witch time is literally the game. You want to witch time everything. You want to combo as best as you can. Keep those combos going. Yeah, and you want to do those combos where you can get them discombobulated. Like you hit them, they're like, because if you're just hitting them normal and it's a really strong enemy, they'll just be like, so you have to hit them with a strong enough attack where they'll go flying, and then you can keep that combo going, and then hit them with another one, and then keep it going, and then with another one. That's how you like maximize your attack output. So yeah, you fight them, and you fight the dragon. It was easy. It felt kind of like a mini boss, kind of like some of the enemies. And then later, what happened with this enemy? Oh yeah, right. With this enemy, you hit him a ton, and the way you kill this enemy, it's like you take out a bird, and this bird just fucking just like starts tearing them apart. It's really cool. It's really, really awesome. You climb up the tree tower thing again, even more, and you have to fight another one. So I was like, wait, wasn't this a boss? Why do I have to fight another one? But like I said, every enemy just becomes a minion in this game, including the bosses. They're just minions, and you have to fight like... You have to get good. You have to get good in this game, because then they put you like with 2, 3, 4 different bosses at the same time, and you're like, okay, all right, that's completely fair. But you know, I've done it before, I can do it again. So yeah, so an angel dude came out. Oh yeah, it's like this angel dude. So that woman that I talked about before, her thing is not white, it's actually red. I kind of misinterpreted. So it's not red. I mean, it's not white, it's red. Just to be clear. So this angel dude, he comes out and he's like, you're gonna pay for this. The creator's gonna beat your ass. He looks kind of like a body with like separated limbs, kind of like Rayman, but he has arms. And he looks like a heavenly monster, you know, like it kind of looks like that. And so the red lady comes out, Jean, as she always has, and I have to fight her. It's really cool. Once again, the fights with her are always awesome. They're really fun. She's strong. She basically has her moveset, and she's over here like going crazy on you. If you don't be careful, she's gonna like beat the crap out of you. So once you fight her, then the dude's like, hey, we told you to kill her. Why didn't you kill her? And she's like, get the heck out of here. I don't care. And like it seems like they're pushing her to do it, and she's like, leave me alone. I'll do it when I want to do it. So she's kind of cocky. Anyways, the choreography in this game is just spectacular. Like the way they fight, they go like with their like 2 legs hitting, and then like one pulls out a gun and shoots, and it's like about to hit her, and then she goes like this, and then she gets her arm, and then she tries to shoot the other one, and then she dodges it, and then oh my gosh, the choreography, literally from the beginning of the game until the very, very end, it is awesome. I love it. I absolutely love the choreography. The developers did an amazing job. Now, I did talk about Bayonetta. I'll just kind of stop here for a second, and just mention Bayonetta. Her voice actor is amazing. It's Helena Taylor. She does wow. The voice acting is perfect for Bayonetta. Now the scandal is about her that I did talk about before as well. So I'll probably talk about that at some point after I talk about the story. Because let's just focus on the positive things, right? Let's focus on the positives. But she fucking nails the first game, absolutely amazing. And she also did the second game, but she's not going to be in the third one, unfortunately. Once again, I'll talk about it later. So everything is awesome. The developers did an amazing job. The modelers, the people who do the movement for the characters, it's really good. Like, wow. It's kind of hard to explain it. I guess I'll just show like footage here while I'm talking. I already changed the format, so you guys will be able to see some of it throughout this podcast. Yeah, it's amazing. So some bugs came out, I think, and the red woman escaped. So there's another part where like I need to escape because like everything is just getting destroyed. So I turn into like a black jaguar and just jump around the place. It is really cool, and so I can start turning into a black jaguar from now on. Yeah, cool shit, right? Cool shit. Next one is chapter 6, and it's called Gates of Paradise. There are now beast puzzles. Yeah, kind of like I mentioned, there are puzzles with the beasts. I was also told that if I want to know myself, I should protect the girl. Oh yeah, so if you want the woman, she's like, hey, if you want to know the secrets about yourself, because it seems like Bayonetta can't remember what's been happening for like, she doesn't have any recollection of her memories or of what's happened or why they want to kill her or this or that. So yeah, basically we're about to find that out, why. So we have to protect that girl. You have to find her, protect her. It looks like Bayonetta at this point. I didn't know if it was her or not. Obviously it looks exactly like her. It basically is her. So I just said that's probably her. So you fight some of the red dragons and you move on, and you kill a ton of monsters, and then you find the little girl. So basically we find her and we like save her or whatever. So this is a completely new area, and it's actually super cute because at that point, once you find her, she's like, "Mom, are you my mommy?" And she's like, "No, ew! Like get away from me, you treacherous kid!" And she just keeps calling her mom or mommy. I'm sick, as you guys can see, still sick. So she's like keeps calling her mommy throughout the whole game. It's really cute, and I was like, "Hey, don't cry, or I'm gonna you can go on your own." So the little girl stops crying, and she's always holding like a little teddy bear sort of thing, and she like Bayo doesn't like kids or kids that cry or whatever, but this little girl just attaches to her right away. And you basically do a mission where you like lead the girl through like an area, and there's a ton of monsters, so that's a thing. And you enter a portal, and you're like in another place in Paradiso. You fight more monsters, and I mean, I know I'm saying fighting monsters a lot because obviously that's what you do, but like I'm just kind of like going over how, trying to get a sort of image in your head. So you go through like this, like that portal that I told you guys about in the other city, Virgil or Vigibol or Vigrid, yeah, in Vigrid, and so you're like in a new place, and so you save her, you save the girl, but she finds a big ass monster in a gate that like they were chasing you before, and the monster grabs her and you save her, but then you find out that Bayonetta is not the real Bayonetta. It's like a fake one. So you have to run after her because she took the girl. She's like running away, and you fight that. You fight that Bayonetta, and then she like actually turns into this really sexy angel thing. Not really sexy like in the face, just like the rest of the body or whatever, but it just kind of turns into that, and you start fighting that thing. I think her name was Joy. I think this is one of the angel monsters that I like the most. Not because it's sexy, but because it fights like Bayonetta. And I think if you use a particular weapon, there are different versions of it. Like one has like a whip, like the whip that you have. One has like just different kinds, I think. So you fight these, and you kill them. Like I told you guys, there's different ways to kill every enemy, right? This enemy, the way you can finish this enemy off is like you pull out like this horse that has like spikes on its back. Now it's like a wooden horse, not like a real horse, and like you end up like making them sit on the spikes on top of the horse and like rubbing it out, basically rubbing their vajayjay out, and it's just like tearing them up, and then like just pull them and they die. It's quite graphic. Now, it's quite graphic, but still, it's super cool. It's super cool. So you basically do that part, and you end up meeting the guy, the one that ends up flirting with a ton of guys or guys. What am I talking about? And so the little girl meets the guy, and you fight some more demons, and the guy is like, "Oh no, what are you doing to this little girl? Are you like taking advantage of her? Just like you took advantage of, well, you're a witch. Wow. Well, get away from her." So that happens, and so you end up fighting some more demons, and the guy goes with the girl, and the girl goes with the guy, the little girl. So chapter 7, the cardinal virtue of temperance. Usually when we get a chapter called like the virtue of this or that, that's probably a boss. So here there was one big demon. It was that angel demon that told the Jean, the red woman, like, "Hey, you better do it." And then she was like, "Nah." It's that one. I had to fight him. So he tries to hit you like this. Now, like, for those watching on YouTube, you guys have a visual representation, but on the podcast, basically, I'm just like flailing my arms around, hitting the table like that. So basically, he does that, and you have to hit his fingers. Once you hit his fingers a few times, there's like these flying rocks, and you have to like jump around these until you get to you climb up his arms, and you like rip the part that connects them together. They're like these bulbs, and like you basically hit them enough, and you break them. Next arm, you break that, then you get on his body, and you break another like 3 of them, and there's like this force field like that just disappears from his face, and then you have to go and destroy his face like so bad. It's a cool fight though. I liked it a lot. It was fun. But his name was it was the cardinal virtue of temperance. That's what they call it. So then we reached chapter 8, Route 66. This was a pretty cool mission. I liked it a lot because this one is like the guy is still with the girl, right? The little girl's with the guy, the flirty guy, and they're driving down this route because they're trying to reach this island. All of them are trying to reach it in this part of the story. Now, I haven't talked much about exactly what is what and who is who, and so basically the angels at this point are trying to get a stone that she has, and this is a very important stone, and Bayonetta doesn't want to give it to them. She wants to kill all of the people, including the creator. And by this point, you're already we should already know that Bayonetta actually she has been alive for a long time, and there was a war between a few clans, and yeah, there were the witches, then there were the heavenly ones, and they all fought. All of the heavenly people died, and including the creator, which also made Bayonetta lose her memory or something like that. So they're trying to bring back the creator at this point. So those angels, like the cardinal virtue of temperance, the cardinal virtue of this, the virtue of that, they're all trying to bring them back. They're trying to bring the creator back, the main guy. So that's what it's all about, bringing it back. And they can do it with that stone that you have, basically. So here in that Route 66 one, you're like in this highway, and basically the guy and the little girl are like, you have to protect them while they're like driving super fast, and you get on like this motorcycle and you start like having to kill enemies on a motorcycle and going super fast, sliding down through little places and jumping and killing other enemies. It gets really damn cool. Like, I liked it a lot. It was really hype. Like, it was really cool. Yeah, it's so awesome. I liked it a ton. So yeah, I mean, that's all I can really say. You go through a highway, super cool, sexy lady on a motorcycle, killing things, shooting things, jumping over things, smashing things. You basically fight more, and you like use witch time. Oh yeah, there's a new kind of enemy that appeared. There's a car enemy, and then there was another one, I believe, that oh yeah, there was another kind of enemy that like they mixed together. It's not really that important. There's a lot of enemies that I've skipped up until this point, but it's like this enemy that if you don't kill it fast enough, it just like mixes together and they become really big. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, basically you end up reaching the guy and the little girl, and you use you basically go into like a portal, and that's when you get to the next chapter, which takes me to chapter 9, Paradiso, A Remembrance of Time. I think yeah, this right here is not part of like whenever you finish a stage, Bayonetta will move her like little character in the map to a new area until you like reach the island, right? The special island. But I think at this point of the story, like there's the highway and then you get to the island. But I remember that she like takes it out and puts it like in a very different area of the map, which I thought was weird. And there's like toy blocks, like little blocks of toys, or like the ones that kids have with letters on it. So I think I'll go through this one now. So you land at the clock tower. So it's kind of like that area where I've mentioned to you, where at the very beginning of the game. So it's like you come back to the beginning of the game, and you're like in that part. And also, if you've played Super Smash, the stage that Bayonetta has, it's that place, exactly that one. So you like go through that, you fight a few enemies, you go through a courtyard, you fight even more enemies, and like there's a little puzzle there where you like find keys by these chests, but some chests have like enemies in it, whatever. Then there was this like ball thing that you end up like hitting, and like it like moves, and then afterwards it chases you down like this spiral case. So that actually ends up becoming an enemy later, which I'll talk about. That ball thing is called a golem, and you end up fighting this golem, and it can like change to different things. It can change into hands, and it'll try to smash you. And when it does that, it leaves its core open. You have to like hit it. It kind of takes a while to do it because you have to keep witch timing and keep hitting it over and over and over. And it's not a bad boss though. It's fun. Once again, becomes a normal enemy later on in the story. Then you get to this area, Paradiso, where there was some gates that you couldn't enter before. Now you can. So you go into those gates, and yeah, it's a completely new area. So that's what was it? I remember it. Here it kind of reminded me of those hands when I was talking about the golem enemy, a lot like in Mario, Mario 64, the sand area where like there's a star that you can get where these hands with like eyes try to attack you. Yeah, it's basically that. That's kind of what it reminded me of. And then we reach chapter 10, Paradiso, a Sea of Stars. So it's basically the same area, but just in a different it's just the same area. What can I say? So here you go through that same town from like vestibule. Is that what it's called? Vestibule? Vigrid? No. I guess it's Vigrid. I guess it's Vigrid. And you have to do some puzzles where like you move this one thing around. Okay, yeah. So there was also these like where like all these old bosses that I fought before. Like I had to fight like a ton of them. Yeah, at this point you're just fighting bosses basically, or mini bosses that you fought before. Every enemy is a boss. That's why it gets really hard, because you have to like make sure that you're fighting and dodging and fighting and dodging, making sure your combos are perfect and you're like hitting correctly. That's where I saw the super strong claw guys that I talked about that you can't witch time. These guys take a lot of health, and there's only so much health packs that you can have. You cannot buy like 100 of them. You can only buy 3 at a time. And yeah, they go by really, really fast. And mostly when you have a lot of health, your health goes down very quickly. So yeah, it's hard to restock, and there's not that many save points in this game. Like sometimes you'll find a save point, but it's like there are very few. To be honest, there's not that many save points. So if you're looking to have to save the game somewhere, you're kind of out of luck, and you have to make sure that you wait until you reach one. So afterwards, when you fight those guys, the game showed that the guy and the little girl were being attacked. Oh yeah, because they're still together and we're like in this area. Well, because we just talked about we were on the highway, right? So it shows them being attacked, and in these areas you just do so many puzzles. I have not talked about all the puzzles that I did because there are so many that I've done to this point. Let me see. Oh, it's a little bug on me. So you run in the portal, and okay, I remember this part very clearly. So they're like in a forest, and they're being attacked by monsters. Okay, so while she's fighting, while she's fighting these monsters, the little girl's like, "Mommy, mommy," and she's already called her mommy like a million times, and it feels like Bayonetta's comfortable now. You know, she's actually happy, like protecting that little girl. She likes the little girl a lot. Always like by her side, making sure she's fine, whatever. And the guy, while Bayonetta's fighting these monsters in the forest, the guy's like, "Wait, you can see what she's doing? You can see her?" And she's like, "Yeah, look at my glasses." She takes off her glasses and gives it to the guy, and he can see Bayonetta fighting like all these monsters, right? That are invisible to his eyes. So he has like a flashback, like he just realized something, and he thought about what was happening at that time when Bayonetta killed his father. Bayonetta was like looking at the guy like this, and the dude was like, you know, hanging, but there was nothing there grabbing him. Bayonetta wasn't the one grabbing him, so he came to the conclusion, these motherfuckers killed my dad. And yeah, they actually did. Like, yeah, he started realizing this. So yeah, so they start, I think, running away, but then Bayo ends up saving them. Let's see. I think he saves Bayo at one point here, because this like monster. Yeah. This new monster comes out, and I'm just trying to remember. This game is there's a lot of things that I want to say, but obviously some are just not important enough to put. So I have to kind of like make sure I put the perfect amount and not make it too long. Like what we've been going here for an hour and 30 minutes, like me talking straight. But there's a lot. There's so much more. Like we're barely like at the half mark of the game. But you know, it's not too much, to be honest. It's just like the biggest stuff is just kind of talking about what happens in the story. But I'll go over it. I'll go over it right here. In this part, basically, this new monster comes out. Like vines. It looks like he has vines and stuff. And the girl's like about to die, and the guy saves Bayo, and then Bayo fights this one monster. He has like grass tentacles. He has a ton of faces, and like each time that he has a vine that like a vine face with a baby on it. It's a weird monster. It has like a baby face, and each time it goes close to you, have to like hit it, and once you've hit it enough, you go on the vine and then hit the main body. The main baby face is in the body. It's a weird boss, I have to say, and you could hear the baby sound like it's weird as hell. Anyways, the tongues are the vines with the baby face on them. So I think in this one we use a centipede, right? The centipede comes out and wraps around it and just crushes them. It's really cool. He told me about the lumen sages. I don't remember what that is all about, but yeah, there are some lumen sages, which is something that I cannot remember. So then we get into chapter 12, the broken sky. So by this point we're all reunited, and he's just talking about how his father was the dude, the flirty guy, was talking about how he was trying to research the clans that fought in the war before, and Bayo had something to do with it, so that's how he somehow died, but he realized that wasn't the case. And then Bayo gets a weird dream. Yeah. So afterwards, there's this plane that we have to go to so we can reach the island, right? But something happens, and the girl gets caught, and so Bayo gets on the plane, but the guy doesn't. What happens afterwards? Oh, from there? Oh yeah, okay, I remember. So once you're like on the ship, right? And then the red woman appears. You basically have to fight her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, keep protecting the girl," or "Oh, you're protecting the girl. Why are you doing this? You're not a good person anyway." So you have to fight her. There's a really cool scene, and then afterwards, oh yeah, they keep pressuring the red woman, the angels. They keep pressuring her, and she's just not listening to them. So you end up fighting against her, and then you have to find the kid inside the ship. And there's a ton of monsters, and then like eventually the fucking ship is flying, and then like it just starts falling afterwards. It's crazy. Like I'm condensing it into like seconds, hours, because you know the whole podcast, the whole game, but you condense it, and it's like, it doesn't sound like much, but all of the fighting scenes here, it's spectacular. Like getting a 13-14 hour game and just putting it onto like an hour, 2 hours, it's hard, but it's fun. It's really fun. Yeah, so basically the ship goes down. You've already helped the girl kind of get out, and let's see. Oh right, so at this point you help the girl get out, and this angel monster, that same monster that was complaining to the red woman, he's like, yeah, the creator wants her dead now, like go kill her now, since we need to resurrect them. And yeah, so I ended up fighting that guy. It looks like it's a big dude. He looks like a fish, but yeah, he has arms, and his arms can shoot with like baby faces. And yeah, so he's like swims and tries to hit you, and you have to like destroy his legs first, and then you end up like hitting him a bit in the face. And one cool thing is that like you can turn into a big spider and like just beat the crap out of him. And at the end, you actually do that because he creates a whirlwind under the water, and you have to fight him there, and you have to make the spider like put him on a web, and then like it's a badass. From there, that's when the fight ends, and then you go on a helicopter to the island that I was talking about, which we're very near near the end of the game. So chapter 14, Isla del Sol, which is like island of the sun. You know, you could expect that from people who think they're angelic, right? So yeah, at this point you're on the helicopter, you're getting shot down, and you end up riding on a fucking missile, because that's what you do in this game. You do cool shit. It's hype. It's badass. And so you're riding on it. You're riding on this missile thing, this rocket, going towards the island, and we have to ride it. And you basically have to kill a ton of the bosses, but flying. Think of it kind of like what's the game? Kid Icarus, you know, it's like a flying simulator sort of thing. You go around and shoot things. The Dragoon game, like that. And you shoot things around in the sky. It's fun. It's actually really fun. And wait. Chapter 13, the cardinal virtue of prudence, was the fight with that one guy that I just had. I just missed saying that was chapter 13. Whoops. So yeah, we're on 14 now. I kind of skipped saying chapter 13, but we did talk about it, so I didn't skip it. Anyway, so you fight a ton of enemies, and then you eventually get to the island, and like you drop or whatever, and they kind of get separated. The little girl and the guy get separated. He saves her, and we have to fight the red woman again. So this is where it gets like pretty crazy. Here, you have to fight the woman, the red woman. Yeah, you have to fight the red woman, and it's like this fight's intense. You have to make sure you don't get hit, because her tactics are crazy. She's just going like Super Saiyan on you. She's just fighting you, going nuts with the Bayo powers. And yeah, it's really easy to lose. I think I lost about 20 times You have to really make sure your movement is perfect. Like you have to like witch time all the time, and even when you do witch time, it's only for like a little bit, because the witch time that you do on her is not as long as it is like to another enemy. So you have to like make sure you do a combo where you can keep it going. Like you have to push that lady to her limits. Anyways, if you're very, very calm, you learn her movements, learn her strategy, you're patient, you can beat her pretty easily. Like it's not that bad, but she is difficult if you're just trying to hit her with random attacks. So she's like she's actually like, oh, I want you to get stronger, yeah, so she's actually a good lady, but this whole game she's been after you, hitting you. But you know, at one point in the game she does say she's not ready yet. So I think she's like trying to prepare you, trying to fight with you to see if you're strong enough for something. So the guy, he got the kid, whatever, and that's when we get to chapter 15, a Tower of Truth. Also, by the way, when she's talking to the lady in red, Jean, she talks to her about how they're actually friends, like from a long time ago. So yeah, they're actually good friends, and so at this point you get to the Tower of Truth, which is chapter 15. There's a really big door there. It's Bayo, the guy who's really flirty, and the little girl. So that weird voice that I told you that's been talking to you throughout the whole entire game, he's like, hey, what's up? How you guys doing? And the little girl, she's like, Daddy? And she runs through the door, and they're like, what the fuck, Daddy? So that voice, it's like her, she calls it her daddy, which is weird. Anyway, so you have to basically go chase her down, make sure she's okay. You fight a ton of enemies as you're going through this really big tower. You even end up fighting a boss with like these artillery guns. It's really cool, but you know, you have to get used to it. You have to shoot them a few times. You get to another elevator area. Oh yeah, there's an elevator area where you have to like basically run up the elevator, but then you have to fight a ton of enemies. And I remember there was a boss there, the vine boss, actually, the one with the babies. The baby vine faces. It's so weird. Like I don't know, I dislike that boss so much. Like I don't know, it's just I don't know, the boss was so creepy. I guess it's a good design if it makes you feel like it's creepy. But anyways, that's what will happen. You fight that boss, the vine boss. I call it the vine boss. Here he was a lot more annoying than the first time, so I even put that here, I guess. So you keep going up, and there's like a goddess statue, and I'm, oh, okay, the goddess statue, this is cool, whatever. You do more platforming. You go through another elevator, you fight another boss. You fight a lot of bosses in this game. Man, I just wish that you guys could actually see like all of these areas that I'm talking about. Maybe I'll post some of the clips here of like the parts. But yeah, you keep fighting bosses, you keep going up, and you reach the top of the tower, and there's like this spiral thing. So you go up and you go inside an orange portal. Like at the very top of the tower. We're talking about the tippity top. Like top. You can see the whole city, by the way. It's really beautiful. It looks nice. Then you get to chapter 16, the Lumen Sage. Now, okay, I'll just talk about it. So the Lumen Sage is a dude, and it's like an angelic guy, and he's not the creator though. He's not the creator. He's like the guy who wants to be a creator. He wants the powers of the creator. So he you meet him. He's a dick, basically. He's a bad guy. He's a baddie. And he actually gets Bayo angry, like talking shit about her. And he has the girl with him, and she's like hugging him and everything. I don't like the guy either. Dang, Lumen Sage. I think his name is like Baldwin or something. Father Baldwin. And he also tells the flirty guy how he killed his father because he was being a nuisance, like he's a reporter. His dad's a reporter, journalist. So he got a little bit too loud. He got a little bit, too curious. And that's why he killed his father. So he's pissed off. Bayo's pissed off. Everyone's pissed off. And the father Baldwin guy, he pushes the flirty guy out the window. And Bayo also gets her ass beat. Just really bad. Anyways, the guy, he fuses with the kid. Just puts her inside his chest, and now he's got a freaking kid inside his chest. Like, you can still see her body there, and she's like this or whatever. He becomes a super angel, and you have a really cool fight. He has like this sword. It's cool. You have to like kind of like dodge him a lot, and you take so little damage, but you have to like witch time him, hit him enough, not get hit by like all his 1 million attacks. He has another face. He have to use your different. Oh yeah, you use your big monsters basically to attack him, like Rathalos or whatever his name is, and all the other ones. The centipede doesn't work on him. He's just basically beating your butt. Eventually you like hit him, and you use a special bullet on him. I don't know, and he dies. Then she uses a power, I think, to go back in time and takes the girl back. Oh, okay. So after taking the girl back, which is actually Bayonetta herself, you actually even see Bayonetta's mother in this game. I just didn't really realize it, but you do. So you take her back, and like you sing the song, the "Fly Me to the Moon," and she always sings it. She's like, "Oh, okay, just be a good girl or whatever, be strong." And she ends up being strong, like, that's Bayo. Like, she ends up becoming super powerful. Once you come back into the present, you get electrocuted by like red thunder. The guy isn't dead yet, and he picks you up and puts you with this like statue, and he puts himself on the left eye, and he puts you on the red one. So he's like the blue one, and she's on the red one. So that's the same statue that we saw before, right? The same statue, the one that we climbed up the tower and we saw this like goddess statue. Which takes us to the epilogue. Requiem. This is the final stage in the whole entire game, you could say. So once they have fused, right? It goes to it goes into a different city, and or actually it's maybe even the same city, I don't know, but it looks like a different city to me. And there's a rocket that goes into space, and now you're playing as Jean. You're like driving up like this missile thing, right? You're like driving up it. It's really cool. Actually, looks really, really cool. And you just keep going up until you reach the statue, and you have to reach the statue, and you go up to where the eye is at, where Bayo's at, and you have to like wake her up. But while you're trying to wake her up, you get fucking slammed. Jean gets slammed. And Bayo wakes up enough where she's like, "Oh crap! Oh god, Jean got hit. Oh no, I need to save her." And at this point, basically, you were too late. The creator was woken up, and I think it's called Jubileus. Jubileus. So I don't think he is the deity, but the deity wakes up. It's like a woman god, like a goddess, woman god, a goddess, and she looks cool. She looks divine. You know, she's like using her powers. She can fucking make a black hole, and I'm just trying to remember here, but yeah, she looked really cool. I can still remember, like, I have a really good impression of her, like, really cool design. And she's just like fucking you up. She has like these things on her back that try to hit you, and those little things can shoot even more things. Her cloth, yeah, it was her cloth. So she like throws her cloth, and that the piece of cloth can have like different powers. They shoot a lot of projectiles or whatever. And she has a power where she can turn you into a little girl. Like, she can turn you into the baby version of you, like the little girl. And you don't want that, because she will take a lot of damage if she hits you while you're just like fucking walking there like a little kid. So you have to like avoid getting hit by these like planetary things that if they hit you, you become a kid. So you have to like make sure you don't get hit by that. Oh, I think I remember what I did here. Throughout the entire game, I did use the green things to like heal myself, but there were these yellow ones to make like to have invincibility. I never really used these a lot. I think maybe I did use them, but like only near the end of the game. So I had so many racked up, like a ton of them. So I decided to make a lot of them, and each time you use one, you have invincibility. You can't die. You can't get hit. So I would use it right before those like special baby ones would hit me, and I would be invincible towards those. So yeah, I couldn't turn into a kid, and I would just keep hitting her and taking a lot of damage. So it was really cool. Basically, you beat her down, and you use Jean's powers and you also use yours, and you make a super big woman demon. Like, it looks like Bayonetta, but not really. She looks like a demon version of the goddess. It's really cool. Like, it looks so damn awesome. And you basically hit her, like, you beat the crap out of her, and then you hit her towards the sun, and that's the end of the game. And when the credits roll in, Jean, she actually comes and talks to you, and she's like, "Oh no, we can't make it back. We're done for." So, even though the statue is destroyed, we have to like destroy the rest of the parts. And so you go and like hit the pieces, and then you go back home together afterwards. At the end, it goes back to the graveyard, and everyone thinks that Bayo is dead, but she's not. Jean is there, and the blade guy is there, and she comes out of the casket, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm alive. I'm good." And the guy was really sad, the flirty guy, because he likes her. Also in the credits, you do some fights. I'm gonna guess if you do all the fights perfectly, then you get like something, but there was one that I didn't do perfectly, so whatever. Yeah. Also, after you fight all those like credit monsters, like they're basically normal bosses, and like you do the fight where you're with Jean 500 years ago. It's really cool. So you do that fight, and then at the end you see Bayonetta singing. She's singing "Fly Me to the Moon," but it's like a different rendition of it. It's like the credit version. It was amazing. Like, I think it was extremely hype. I like the last fights with Jean against her. Then I didn't really like climbing the tower too much, but I liked the final boss fights. The one with Father Baldwin, and also the one with the goddess. It was really cool. So from there, what else? The game ends. That's done. The credits are finished. Everything is finished. So it actually, you can unlock more stuff, and you actually unlock another difficulty if you want to play in a harder difficulty. I didn't unlock Jean, but you can. So it is kind of like Devil May Cry, where you unlock Virgil in Devil May Cry 3. And my thoughts were that the game was not too long. It's long enough where it's full of content, and you'll have a really, really good time. But if you really want to, you can go through the like different certain stages that you feel you didn't do good in, which I'm sure if this is your first time playing it, you need to go back and play through all of them, because you probably got a really low score. Now, I want to actually see a pro play this, like a pro at this game, because I'm gonna guess it looks fucking badass when they just dodge everything, they never get hit, they do it super fast and at a super hard difficulty. I don't know, I want to see that happen. I barely went through the game and I was like, oh crap, like I had to use the items, I felt like I needed the stuff. But yeah, I want to see someone that doesn't need it and they just go through the game making it look easy. I did get perfect rating on some stages, not gonna lie. I did do pretty good. My dodging was on point a lot. I did kill fast in a lot of cases, so I did pretty good. And afterwards, I just checked like the mode where you can see all of the things you have unlocked, all the achievements that you have done, because there's many of them. And there's a ton of achievements. So if you like achievements, whoa, this game has a lot of them for you, and I hope you enjoy them. Yeah, there's so many. You can look at all the models of the characters in the game, including the sexy ones. If that's what you're into, go ahead, have fun, enjoy yourself. You beat the game, get that satisfaction, if you want. And one cool thing is that you can unlock costumes. I didn't notice that you could buy them, right? You can buy them, but there are special sets that you can buy after you beat the game, like a nurse one or a schoolgirl one, or like the one where she dresses like 500 years ago. And I think even in the second game, Bayonetta 2, you can unlock the Bayonetta 1 outfit and like a bunny girl outfit. I think in Bayonetta 2, because it came out on the Wii U, I think in that one you can unlock a Link outfit, a Peach outfit, a Mario, Luigi outfit, Samus outfit. I want to see the Samus one. I heard it looks really cool. I don't know. I like to see it. And Bayonetta 3, I imagine, will have like maybe there's a Kirby outfit or like a fucking Donkey Kong outfit. I don't know. It's a Nintendo game 100%. Maybe we see like a Cloud outfit, or maybe not that, but we'll see like some other Nintendo, like a Fox. No, there was a Fox outfit in Bayonetta 2. So yeah, you could already see that. I feel like if you've imagined Bayonetta the way come on, she has a good figure with looking like fucking Fox and McCloud, then you're gonna like it. I don't know. That's up to you though. You guys can spend your time to see those unlockables or unlock them yourself. Just do that. Why not? Now I guess the only things I could talk about are things that I liked and hated. The Alfheim challenges. If you went in the challenge and you didn't heal, you couldn't heal. But then later I learned that you could actually leave the portal and just heal up and then come back. Usually there's a place to heal, but sometimes there aren't. So it's kind of unfortunate, because you'd be doing the entire challenge with like one piece of health, which sucks. But I was about to talk about something. I just forgot what. Yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, I just realized. Since this game came out on the PS3, it came out then. It has loading screens, and in that loading screen you can practice your combos or whatever. But because I'm playing on like modern hardware on Steam or whatever with like a good computer and good hardware, the loading screens are just fast. So like you can't play them. And this gets me thinking, what if they port something like Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 2 or 3 where there's like little mini games, right, where you can like press the button really fast or something. That's the loading screens are basically gone now. Like, they should add a mode in modern version of these games where you can just play the loading screen like as much as you want, because these loading screens, then they're not accessible because your hardware is too good, too fast. So yeah, every single time I would get to like a loading screen, you would get to practice, right? You like little combos. On the PS3, maybe it loaded like 10, 15, 20 seconds. So you have 20 seconds to like practice combos. But still, that's something. But I couldn't because my computer was too fast and it would just next screen. Yeah, it was sad. All right, well, guys, that's about it. Oh yeah, things that I liked about it. The edgy thing, or it doesn't take itself too seriously. That's one thing that I wanted to say. This game is not afraid to give you a challenge at all. Like, it will just slam you down. It'll put another boss on top of that boss on top of that boss. It will call itself a minion, and it will keep doing that, and it'll keep making itself harder. They will hit like a truck, and the harder difficulties with these challenges, it's outrageous. They're asking you, go to the hardest difficulty, don't get hit, not even once, do like a $1 billion combo, and make sure to get everything in the stage. It's like, whoa, these achievements are hard. But I mean, if you like a challenge, you learn how to do the combos. I'm sure it's not that bad. You just need to learn how to play the game well. Yeah, that's it's cool. It's cool. I also mentioned, the music is good. I really like the music in this game. It was fantastic. Even to this moment, I cannot get the Fly Me to the Moon one out of my head. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about really quickly about the scandal. So Helena Taylor, she's the voice of Bayonetta. She's been doing it for the first 2 games, and there was a scandal where they offered her Platinum Games offered her a very low amount of $4,000. This just happened recently, and so everyone was on her side, like, oh, that's kind of crappy. And there was some evidence that showed that they actually offered her a lot more. So, and she made this whole big scene trying to boycott the game and everything. Now she's like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. Whatever. I'll leave this all behind me. But she actually was the one that caused all this drama. Now she's not looking too good. I hope whatever the outcome of this is, if she really was offered so little that, there's not much you can do about it. If they don't want you for their next game, they just don't want you. But people are saying that they offered her a little bit just so she wouldn't work with the game. But it actually turns out that they did want her really bad for Bayonetta 3, but she just didn't accept what they offered her. So now she looks kind of like a cuck for that. But hey, I can't. That's not for me to say. I hope whatever happens, she's the one that's right in this situation, because that would be very unfortunate and she would look really bad. But we don't know yet. We don't have enough evidence for anything. It is what it is. And it's amazing. The game's amazing. It's made by a lot of developers, and they did a great job with everything in the game. I don't know. It's a pretty good. I give it a high rating. I can't say a number, but I give it a high rating for me. Yeah. 2 hours. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and finish it off right here. Thank you guys so much for listening and being super awesome. And if you got to this point of the podcast or the video, make sure to drop a like, put a comment of what you liked in the podcast, and make sure to subscribe. And, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next podcast. All right. Bye!